guys told on themselves outright.
You know why?
Ar-Ab
For the same
every
reason.
single chance
And listen, and did you think he needed Vlad for that?
He
Did you see other
every
things?
platform.
Like I know Ab. You think he needed the? Did you see other things? Like you can see Ab on anything. Ab gonna say, yeah, nigga, get it, do it. That nigga, but like that was Ab.
Yeah, he was.
That was Ab.
Yeah,
That was Ab.
yeah, he was.
You know, there are conditions that give way to that in us. Conditions that exist in our developmental experiences coming from the environments we come from. You know what I mean? And at the basis of this behavior that we throw ourselves away for the glory is a lack of the appropriate degree of esteem that would make us make better fucking decisions on a regular goddamn basis.
And I agree with that. So let me ask you something, because you're like, I'm looking, Vlad is your friend, you know, he's a young boy. Did y'all got a deal going? Because you've been doing a lot of work with Vlad lately. Is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
Explain to the world what you're doing with Vlad. It's something you became a spoke. You know what? Let me finish like you told me. It's like, he said, yo, I'm not a hood dude. Can you go get those ghetto guys to me who are official? Because you're killing it.
That's a narrative. Now that's a narrative.
You're killing that shit, Peter.
Right, but that's a narrative that you know a person would interject in the absence of the actual information.
Okay.
So when people make up what they don't know, especially people who consider themselves to be relatively smart, and they figure if I come up with it, that's reasonable, and they're more inclined to lean towards something that fits their preferred narrative than they are to pursue the truth. Because it's like, either way, it's inconsequential to me, realistically, right? What's actually happening, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'd rather go with the thing I believe and would like to think. But Vlad has known me a very, very, very long time, almost 20 years. I have been the person that I have been the entire time that he's known me, right? He's known more about my real pedigree than 99% of the people who are aware of me. He been knew that I was this person. He could have been said, yo, what'd you say? Oh, I'm not really a street dude, but you really are. Come and go and get me. He been could have said that if that's what he wanted to say. That's not how this came about at all. Okay. How this came about was my bro, Unique, Mecca Audio. Shout out to my brother.
Shout out to
all the way up. That nigga ain't got no knees. He just stands up. That's it.
That's it.
Right? So, he called me one evening. I was at my home in SC. He says, bro, my channel's growing. He works hard every day. He gets up and does his videos every day. Get around 5:30. He got a setup. Like you would never believe that he just, I showed it to you, right? You would never believe that he just only maybe now 3 years ago got out of prison after doing almost 3 decades. You would never believe that. I mean, full production screens, green wall, backgrounds, cameras,
Me and
microphones,
you couldn't believe
whole thing.
how in tune he is with technology.
That's how he's always been like that. You ain't seen nothing yet.
He's a
This
dope.
you've heard the adage, the cream always rises to the top.
Yep.
Yeah, this dude is cream. This dude is cream. Trust. Right? So he calls me and say, bro, my numbers is going up. You know, people are loving my jail stories, and I need a bump. So I was thinking, yo, can you get me on Vlad? And I was like, sure, I'm pretty sure I can get you on Vlad. Call you right back. So I'm at home, you know, laying in the bed. And I was like, I hit Vlad, I said, yo, you familiar with Unique Mecca Audio? He's like, no, not really. I said, well, this is my man, you know, we did a book together. His book is called A Raw in Harlem. Dope book and all that, whatever. You know, I give him a little background. You know, he was a street cat. He created one of the most prolific nightclubs in Harlem's history. And he did it in Washington Heights, you know, but when he put Club 2000 in Washington Heights, he dragged 8th Avenue up to Broadway. You know what I mean?
We from that back there.
Right?
On 8th.
Huh?
Me, Kirk Curry, remember Mecca?
Yeah,
we used to get weed on 8th.
Yeah,
back then. We used to get weed from
So
Mecca.
he had a record store where it headquartered his record label, Mecca Audio, on 8th Avenue. So he opened up Club 2000, and then he brought the Miami bass sound and culture from Miami, right? And he created something extraordinary. Never before and never after was this done. So I told Vlad, I gave him all of this, and then Vlad said, "Okay, cool, that sounds dope. You want to do the interview?" I was like, I wasn't expecting that. Yes, my man, of course. I would want it to be done right. So yes, I'll do it.
All right.
So we made the date. I went up to New York. We did the interview.
Oh, Vlad came to New York?
No,
Oh, you let you?
I went to New York.
Oh, you came
And,
out
yeah, and we did the interview, and it went well. It's well over 1 million views now, and I was still up here, so Vlad said, "Yo, you want to do the Peter Shue interview?" I said, "Pete's my man." I actually already interviewed Pete on my podcast that I started, Dope and Game, before, which I'm relaunching. Before I've been archiving, I got a bunch of shit that I've already shot that no one's seen yet. I'd done it on my podcast, years ago.
Right.
And so I was like, yes, my man. So I do Pete's joint. Pete's is over 1 million now as well. And then he was like, yo, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, yeah, let's do this shit. Let's do this. I mean, it makes sense. We got history. You know what I'm saying? I know who he is. He knows who I am. And we've both done what we've done to such a degree as to establish these respected brands within the journalistic space. We've got the relationships. You know what I'm saying? I have the relationship in a particular space because that's what I come from. And the people whom I have those kind of connections with, they would never get on the platform because they would never be comfortable with the way that the rap guys have been comfortable with him questioning. They have to be handled a different kind of way.
Yeah.
I, of course, know that way better than he does. A smart person, a true leader, a true boss, delegates the appropriate responsibilities to those best suited for it. He does not say, "Hey, you're really, really good at, juggling knives. Why don't you go over here and, deal with the babies, or, do the daycare shit, whatever. So you can be over here juggling knives around the babies? Like, what the fuck? No, you don't. You put people in a place where they are set up to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes people stick with you, because you put me in a position to win. You didn't put me in a position where I'm gonna fall on my face and be like, oh damn man, thanks. You know what I mean? So it made sense. It made sense to me because as much exposure as I've had, Vlad has a light that is absolutely beneficial for me to stand in, and he's offered me an opportunity, to make money and stand in the light.
And that's what people.
That's hard.
And what's crazy about that? After I'm gonna move on, but you're right. That's what a lot of black brothers don't do. I mean, he's not black, but that's your friend, and you helped him. He helps you.
You grew up with one of my best fucking my brother.
Oh, Trevor's
yeah,
a good dude.
He's white.
No,
As a motherfucker.
Trevor's a real good dude. I can't tell his page. Great DJ. It's my man. So, what I want to do ask is a question. It's not like. Tell me a Cisco Kid story. What made you work with him?
What was so special
about him with Cisco Kid? Yeah, tell me that.
About that story.
Well, I'm from Harlem. When I say I'm from Harlem, I mean I'm from the place that when historically they have referred to Harlem, that's where they're referring to. They're referring to that place between 110th and like 135th, Lenox to Morningside. That's Harlem. Everything that grew out of that culture started there and expanded outward. Right? Now, if you negate that, it only means you're not old enough to know better. I'm almost 60, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I'm not a spectator. I was born in it. in my home. You understand? It was my religion. There was no church. This was my religion. I was indoctrinated in gangsterism. My mother made me know the history.
Hold on. What did you say, y'all? The world? He's made to be, he understood. When he woke up, his mother pushed him out. You will learn how to be a gangster.
That's it.
Get raised
because
by
gangsters, and you know the rules for being a gangster.
Get raised by wolves.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah,
so that was my reality. It's not a beautiful thing. It's not ideal, but it was the reality that I was born into in 1967 in Harlem, at the ground zero of the first real opioid epidemic. And in that opioid epidemic, ground zero, there were young people who were either on one side of the bag or the other, right? The Cisco Kid was on the business side of the bag. Cisco was in 16th Street, right?
And what?
Between 7th and 8th.
Okay, cool.
Closer to 8th.
Let the people know.
I remember him being around. It was a furniture store.
You know Donnell? Shout out to Donnell. That's
Shout out to Donnell.
Yeah, that's your official.
Manhattan Avenue.
Yeah, official dude.
My stepfather, whose last name I carry, he had a restaurant. His last number hole right there on the corner of 116th Street in Manhattan Avenue, and that's where Nell is from.
Yeah, Donnell from right there.
Right, so I know Donnell all my life.
Oh, official, like that's your man.
Yeah,
He Willie off sidewalk, did time about official dude.
Yeah, like that's where I'm from. So
Okay.
I grew up, in the West Brothers garage. I grew up.
That's your background right there,
from
Manhattan, right there.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. That whole thing, that was my fiefdom.
I'm not the one.
I was ghetto royalties. That was my whole fiefdom. I went to school. Of course. I went to PS 180.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Edie, wherever you at. The PC boys. You know what I mean? Like Jeff. Listen, bro.
Okay.
Like that was. It was the best and worst of times. It was the best of times if you were in. It was the worst of times if you weren't, but you were around. You know what I mean? Because back then, being included was everything. Being excluded was the shit.
That's how Cisco came in the mix.
So Cisco predates all of this. Cisco was a young hustler. Used to be in front of J-Horn, in my memory, selling quarters, and he'd have a bag of quarters. You know what I mean? Quarters are $50 bags of dope, $55 bags of dope. And this guy was a millionaire by the time he was 14 years old.
Jesus, mother man.
And so you talking about 60?
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, 60. You talking about 60?
Damn. He was a millionaire by the time
65, 68, 66. You know what I mean? His story is unprecedented. And why did I want to do his story? Because I was very much aware of his story. He was a significant influence on all of us.
He's still out here in Harlem?
Right? Who?
Cisco still hang out? He's still out here?
No, you got to watch the Vlad video. You got to watch that.
I will.
You got to watch it.
I will. I'll call you tomorrow.
You got to watch it. You definitely got to watch it.
I'll watch it now.
Definitely. Don't even call me again until you watch it. It's real.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's real.
I have no problem.
It's real shit.
And I'll call you after I watch it.
You're going to thank me. You're going to thank me. Like,
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Wow. Like, serious shit. So, Cisco was brought into the game by a guy named Motorboat. Motorboat was passed on since. But he was scooped up shortly after he got down by a gentleman whose name you should know because he's on the Mount Rushmore of Harlem hustlers. And Harlem, if there were a Mount Rushmore to the game, the Mount Rushmore would be located in Harlem.
Okay.
And on that would be, for sure, this gentleman's face, Jesse Gray.
I heard of Jesse Gray. One of the best in the here.
Yes.
One of the...
So Jesse is the
Excuse
one...
me, is Frank Lucas before him or after him?
Hmm?
Is Frank Lucas before him or after him?
No, Frank wasn't here.
Ooh,
Frank was in Durham.
He was in here, okay.
Yeah, he was in Durham trying to get cow shit off his shoe.
Oh, he was a baby too.
At that time.
Yeah, he was a baby.
He wasn't
Okay,
here. He wasn't up here. So the Cisco Kid was a prolific hustler. Super fly, like he was a super fly ass nigga, man.
Okay.
Like he set a standard for young hustlers. Like all of the names you've heard, you know, Vito, Jerome Harris, Black Ronnie, like all these names who were, you know, revered and held at the, you know, the highest regard or respect or fear or whatever. They were all guys who came along alongside Cisco, but Cisco was the guiding light.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So just to put it into a real perspective that a lot of people won't be able to wrap their minds around. As the story goes, Cisco, at 15 years old, bought a mansion in Las Vegas because his son wasn't able to breathe well in the city, and they needed to get him out to the desert air.
His son.
Yeah, Reggie. That's who the interview was done.
Yo, you gotta slow down, bro. I'm not slow. I'm not that dumb. I'm all right. He's 15. You said his son. When he had him 7?
Yeah, when he was 16. So his mother, his mother was 15, Reggie,
All right.
and his father was 16.
He's
Cisco.
like 1. His son was 1 when he got the mansion in Vegas, baby. 1 and a half,
Yes.
2.
Yes, because he needed somewhere he needed to be out in the desert air.
It's crazy.
So at that time, I would say there might have been he's probably the only guy his age in Harlem who knew that there was a place called Vegas, let alone how to purchase a house, let alone have the means by which to do so, let alone that house be a mansion.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of how extraordinarily gifted he was.
Okay.
Right? Extraordinary cat. If you want to see that, you got to go and check out that Vlad TV.
And I will.
You know,
got me bugging right
it's
now.
dope.
I will look at that tomorrow.
It's dope. I promise you, it's unlike anything.
You said don't call you till I do it, right?
Yeah, no doubt. When you do it, you're gonna be like,
Jesus, mother, man.
yo, I swear.
But
You know, I don't do hype.
No, you
I call it like it is.
You don't cap. You keep it
Yeah, I
how it
don't
is.
do no capping. I call it like it is.
No, you straight.
The truth is usually sufficient, man. You know what I mean? It's usually sufficient. If you tell the truth, you know the truth, you tell the truth, that's usually enough. It's good enough.
So,
You gotta make shit up.
You know what's so crazy? Your personality, how you real, you keep it 100.